Hi, my name is Rob Garner. It's March 31st, 2020. I want to share an idea that occurred to me earlier this evening, and I hope it does somebody some good somewhere during the COVID-19 pandemic. And I want to also say that this in no way would replace the stay-at-home, social and physical distancing, washing of hands every so often, wearing a mask outdoors, which they're saying now, keeping gloves on, basically keeping your distance from people and being sensible and not mixing it up and rubbing shoulder to shoulder with people. Stay away from concerts, stay away from clubs if you want to live. Okay, just an idea that I had earlier. In my younger days, I was a sheet metal worker, so I learned about through the metallurgical part of the curriculum about the antimicrobial benefits of copper, the inability to inhibit, the ability to inhibit bacterial growth. I knew about this, and a couple of weeks ago, after hearing the CDC come out with their findings on how COVID-19 survives on different surfaces, and copper was had the least survival rate of what they reported on. I went online and I looked up some articles, and I came across an article that I want to read to you and then share an idea I had earlier with you. So this article was published in the engineering.com, and it's called Copper Kills the Coronavirus on Contact. That's what the page looks like. You can find it, but you'll see other articles about copper online. So I'm going to read this to you really quick and then share an idea with you. A recent report published by the New England Journal of Medicine reminds us of the almost miraculous power of copper to kill microbes on contact. The study found no detectable amounts of the SARS-CoV-2 virus after 4 hours on a copper surface. Compare that to the virus lasting 3 days on plastic, 2 days on stainless steel, and 1 day on cardboard. While the confirmation of copper as a killer of the SARS-CoV-2 is new, we've known about copper's lethality to germs for thousands of years, long before we knew of germs. An ancient history lesson. Ancient armies of Egypt and Babylon, soldiers found that scraping their bronze swords, bronze is copper and tin, into wounds would reduce infection. In India, water was stored in copper pots to prevent illness. In the 19th century, a physician noted that none of the workers at a copper smelter in Paris were getting cholera, a bacterial disease. Waves of cholera were sweeping through Paris, killing thousands and filling city hospitals. Jewelers, goldsmiths, boilermakers who also worked with copper and copper alloys were spared. In 1865, cholera killed 6,176 Parisians out of a total population of 1.67 million, which is a ratio of 0.37%. Of those who had contact with copper, only 45 had succumbed to the disease, which is a ratio of 0.05%. That's a 7-to-1 differential. To put that into perspective, if you're hearing projections of 200,000 deaths or whatever number they're saying today, and you take 7% of that, it is 30,000 deaths. And that's a significant difference, okay? I'll go on and read you the last part of, or one of the last parts of this. The existence of disease-causing microbes, be they amoebas, bacteria, or viruses, has been followed by findings of their inability to survive on copper. Even the hardiest of pathogens, the ones that fall into the frightening class of diseases referred to as HAI, or healthcare-associated infections, the ones that everyone is so concerned about right now because of the heroic effort our physicians and nurses and doctors are making in the hospitals right now and in the community centers, keeping people alive, okay? And they're risking their lives every single day. Those supervillains that run rampant in hospital environments and are impervious to every chemical, antibacterial medicine, or antiviral treatment have their kryptonite. A 2013 study by Dr. Cassandra Salgado found that HAI rates in 3 intensive care units with copper-clad services were 58% lower than in standard ICUs. It's a little late in the game to go plating everything with copper. Okay, it's just not feasible. Maybe in the future that will happen more. I mean, there's going to be things that come out of this that are going to help against that next virus that hits us when it hits us. So I'm sitting around tonight and I'm watching the news and I'm hearing the latest casualty readings and the latest projections from the president. And I haven't even listened to Governor Newsom yet and what California's projections are, but it's awful, okay? And we're staying at home. We're trying to do everything we can to protect ourselves. But look, not everybody has the ability to go get a box of rubber gloves for their family. They're out of work. They don't have any money. They don't even know how they're going to make the rent or the mortgage next month, okay? If they could even find masks, which those are really have gotten to be almost impossible to find, they couldn't afford to buy them. So they're running naked, okay? So all they can do is take the precautions that have been prescribed already. And I'm thinking, you know, after hearing this and reading this and being reminded of copper, I'm running around my house and I'm looking for what do we have that's made of copper, right? I even found an old copper bracelet that I put back on that I haven't worn for 15 years. It occurred to me that just about every household in this country, I would bet, somewhere in that house has a box of pennies or a jar of pennies. People take them out of their pockets every single day and they throw them someplace, and those accumulate. And why not, I thought, take those pennies and put them in a solution. I used vinegar and salt, but I mean, you can go online and find 100 different recipes for cleaning a penny. Why not clean those things up, have a pile of pennies, and stick a pile of those in each pocket? Now, it doesn't have to be a gigantic pile of pennies. It could be a handful of pennies and stick them in your pocket. Like if you don't have anything to do with your hands, put your hands in your pocket and stick them in those pennies and play with them. The pennies only, okay? I'm sure enough people are going to debunk this and be laughing at me or whatever. But look, it's serious business. I don't want to die. I don't want my wife to die. I don't want any of my family or friends to die, or even people that I've ever known to die. I certainly don't want anybody to have to suffer in a hospital all alone. Look, if you're the poor bee who happens to be going for a hot dog in the middle of the day on their lunch break and is unlucky enough to touch one microbe on a bar going into the 7-Eleven or wherever they're going to get a hot dog, and it's on one finger and they don't realize it because the guy before him didn't realize it because he didn't know he had COVID-19 and when he touched the door, and they eat that hot dog and it's great, but 2 weeks later they're in a hospital room suffering, struggling for air, and end up dying alone because their family can't come in and see them and be subjected to the virus. That's a situation that's happening all over the country right now. So look, if this does anybody any good, we won't know the difference. No one's going to know they were saved by pennies in their pocket. But if you don't have another solution, this is just another way to try to protect yourself. I mean, again, it'll probably be debunked by people who say it's crazy, it's crackpot, whatever. So be it. It's just something I wanted to share with people. Look, be careful. Good luck to everybody.